Hey everybody, welcome back to Sassy Gal Prepping for Subscriber Sunday. I hope that this is getting through the ad part. I tried to do an introduction to try to get through some of that. So if you can hear me, let me know. Give me a 5x5 down in the comments and let me know if everything sounds okie dokie. I've got so many things that I'm looking at here, so I'll let you guys kind of start coming in. I see Prepping by Faith. Oh, thanks, Biggs Prep. We've got us and Nate, loud and clear. Thank you so much. Congratulations to Nate, who was the earliest one here. He was first one here. Let's welcome, let's see. So we have Nate, we have the Biggs Prep. We have Rita. I don't know why I like saying your name like that. Hello, Rita. Welcome. Let's see who else is in the house. I think I saw Prepping by Faith was here. Sherry's here. Let's see. And I thought I did. Yeah, there she is. Prepping by Faith. Welcome. She's one of my moderators. And I thank you so much for being here. Martin. Sorry, that's something that I got from a comedian. Martin's here. Oki Khan. I hope that's how I say how we say your name. Van City made it here. Oh goodness, who else? Did I get everybody? I think I may have gotten everybody. Thank you all for being here, and this chat is for you. I wanted to do some things for Subscriber Sunday. I decided to change it up, and we just want to have a chat where we answer questions, answer things that you guys have been commenting on the videos. And tonight I wanted to focus on pasta storage. Sounds kind of odd, but a little while ago I did a pasta video where I demonstrated how I vacuum sealed my spaghetti pasta. And that got so many comments on it, so many questions, but also some comments that were disagreeing with the way it was being done, which is fine. But I did get a lot of questions. And so I thought I would just address it here. We can all talk about it. And so, Van City says she was picking up some soil. Well, I'm glad that you got your soil and came here nice and dirty. So anyway, so tonight's first question was from the video that I did on sealing up that spaghetti pasta. And the question is from Miss Havisham, and I think I might have said her name right. She actually had kind of three questions. I am so sorry, whatever happened there. Am I back? Can you guys see me? I don't know what happened there. Sorry about that. I hope you can see me. It looked like I froze. Looks like I'm back. Okay. All right. Yay. Okay, good. I do not know what happened. Y'all, I have had the hardest time today with this stupid stream. All right. It's not stupid. We're going to have fun. All right. So the first question, it was come from Miss Havisham. And so it's kind of a three-parter. So it said, her question was, does it need to be refrigerated? How long does it last after vacuum sealing, and how do you store yours? Okay, so this was a comment on the video. And does it need to be refrigerated? I'm going to talk a little bit more about this, but I'm going to say no, it does not need to be refrigerated. And I'll explain a little bit later. How long does it last after vacuum sealing? And I'm going to address this again a little bit later. I'm going to talk really heavily in detail about pasta storage, but after vacuum sealing, write your best by date on your package. And then you've got your best by date, and then you can go another 1 to 2 years normally, just if it's just in your pantry. But when you vacuum seal it, you can get an extra 2 or 3 years out of it. So that's why we do these things. We want to vacuum seal, our preps, our pastas, rice, and beans, and so that we can get the maximum amount of storage time with them. All right. Hi, Miss Deborah. I love it. Honored to be here with all my favorite YouTube celebrities. I love it. Okay. So the second question comes from Cactus Annie Prepper, and she has a channel here on YouTube, and she was asking which model of the Food Saver do I use, and I use the Food Saver brand, and it's the 4400 series, and it's the one that they had at Costco like at the beginning of the year, and it came with a whole bunch of accessories. You can also find it on Amazon. It has that little attachment on it that you can use it to vacuum seal the special bags, or you can attach a jar attachment to it, and then you can vacuum out the air from your mason jars and stuff. So that's why I really liked that one. Oh, is Arkansas whoop ass in the house? Did I just see that? Whoop whoop. Okay. So anyway, so there's that. That's the Food Saver brand that I have. And then the next commenter, this is the one that got the most discussion. And this person is the one who disagreed with the way I was doing things. And so I'm going to read the comment. This commenter says, I respectfully disagree vacuum sealing that much pasta together. So if you didn't see the video, what I did is that I had taken 3 of the spaghetti pasta bags. So the ones that I got came in bags and not boxes. And so they were just, a pound each. And I was able to put 3 of them into a vacuum seal bag, and I sealed them right next to each other, 3 packages in one bag. So when it sucked all the air out, it was nice and flat, and I could lay it down flat, or I could actually I was stacking them upright for a little while, like this. But then I actually was able to lay them down in a tote. So anyway, that's the way I did it. And he respectfully disagreed with sealing that much pasta together. I guess sealing these 3 bags together in the way I did it created a problem with a lot of people. He says, unless you cook it all at once, I would package it all separately. If it gets a hole poked in the bag, you will potentially lose all of it, not just one package. So, where are we at here? Right, Okikon, vacuum sealing is a great way to store food. I absolutely agree. And Prepping by Faith says, what's the difference? Okay, so what I did is when I vacuum sealed the 3 bags together, and I snipped a little hole in the original spaghetti bags, so that when I vacuum sealed it, it sealed the air, not only just from the vacuum seal bag, but the air out of the spaghetti bags. And so the general consensus on the video, or just with that process, was that if I was to open up the vacuum seal bag and I need to use, it's time to open it and I need to use it, then I'm going to have 2 other packages of pasta that have a little hole snipped in them. And that is a problem with some people. And so that's okay. Like, as we're all finding out that everyone's all different, right? So we're going to talk this through, this comment. We're going to talk this through. So packing it separately, what he said is he would package it all separately. So for me, I would feel like that is a waste of my Food Saver bags, because that would be packaging one pasta bag in a big bag. I don't have them small enough to be able to package one at a time. And so for me, I thought that wasn't a good use of my bags, and it was going to be wasting them. So that's why I did that. So I was able to get 3 in there. And so I thought that was the best use for the bags. Arkansas. The guy who disagreed with your pasta vacuum sealing needs to find something more important to worry about. Yes. That's how I used to do it when I had the kids at home. Big's Prep. They ate me out of house and home. 3 packs didn't stand a chance. And so, okay, so this is, okay, so we're going to go a little bit further with that. Exactly. So when you open it up, the other thing, okay, so before I go on to that, holes in the bag. So I understand that that's a valid concern with your vacuum seal bags. We don't want to get holes in our bags, because then we could potentially lose our food, right? So it is important to store your food properly. Okay. So with the spaghetti, it was nice and tight. I mean, it really was tight when I had that all done, and I laid it flat. You can lay it flat in a tote, which I like to do. I like to stack things. It makes it easier to stack, so I don't have to worry about moving the pasta all around and everything, and possibly getting a hole in the bag. The other thing that I feel worked to my advantage was that I vacuum sealed the pasta in their original packaging, which helped those little noodles to keep from poking through. So that was another protection, if you will, like a second layer to be able to keep the spaghetti noodles from possibly poking through the bag. So then again, I was laying them flat, and putting them in the tote. So, oh, okay. Thanks, Fan City. She's getting all her stuff together. Sorry, I'll hush. What? Right? Arkansas Whoop Ass, the same guy probably doesn't have 3 packages of pasta put up. Exactly. Oh gosh. Okay. So here's the other thing. So now everyone was asking, well, what do you do when you open up the package? I said, well, okay. When I open up the package, I've got 2 spaghetti packages left over. Okay, so here's just a couple things, practical things that you can do. You can store the other 2 bags like in a Ziploc gallon bag, and just put those in there and zip that up. Or you can put them in a pasta container, which I got this one recently, something like this, where it's airtight container and it's tall, and those spaghetti bags they'll just stack right in here. I can get 3 of them in here actually. And it's got an airtight seal on it. That's also something. These are fairly inexpensive. This was $5 at Hobby Lobby. Get something like that. I know that, I don't know if Tupperware makes any, or Rubbermaid or something like that. You can find them. They make those things. And so I did that. You can, store the extra ones in that. Or you could get a shoebox tote, and then you can put the other ones in there, in the shoebox tote, all your leftovers that you pulled out of your vacuum seal bags. There's also meal planning. So if I know I'm going to open up a vacuum seal bag that has 3 spaghetti bags in it, I can cook 1 a week, for instance, or we can eat spaghetti the whole week, or we can do whatever. But the main thing is people had a problem is that I snipped a little hole, poked a little hole in the side of the spaghetti bag, and immediately it was, your pasta's going to go bad and everything's going to happen, So prepping by faith, yes, we all do things completely different. Apartment prepper, everyone saw I just put tape over my box ends and then just put them in the totes above my cabinets. See, we all do things differently. But what I want to talk about tonight and focus on is that at least everyone in the comments on that particular video, the ones that were having an issue, thinks that pasta is going to go bad, and your pasta is not going to go bad. Okay. What is the enemy that we are protecting? Why do we vacuum seal? What is our enemy? Our enemy is moisture, right? We don't want things to get wet. We don't want little critters in them, right? And we want to, preserve it for long, so we want to suck the air out. Okay, but what we do that mainly because we don't want things to get moisture and have bacteria growing in them and things like that. So pasta does not go bad. Okay, it's dry. Okay, and as long as you have it, and I'll say this over and over again, as long as you're storing your pasta, even in its original bag, in a dry, cool, dark environment that is bug free, because I'm in a zone where I don't have to worry about getting little bugs. I think in my entire 25 years up here, I may have had pantry moths 1 time, and that's the only issue I've ever had. So hi Roxanne, hey, welcome to the chat, and thanks for saying that and sharing that. Yes, see, vacuum sealing protects from moisture and oxygen. Yes. So I consulted the foods guy, original, huh? And so we're going to talk about, does pasta go bad? So first of all, almost all foodborne bacteria requires moisture, right? Okay, so it requires moisture to breed and to thrive. Dry pasta is, of course, dry. And so even if your bag or box of pasta has been opened, it's not likely to develop mold or become dangerous to eat unless it is exposed to excessive humidity, moisture. Maybe you've had a water leak or something extreme. It would have to be consistent, okay? So what might happen to your pasta is that it's going to become stale. Okay. But that doesn't mean that it's bad. Okay. Just because your pasta may be kind of like, this doesn't taste like it did, like it should, you can kind of, sauce it up, right? You can throw some sauce on it. You can, try to dress it up but basically it might just become less flavorful. But you can't really tell, your pasta if it's going to be bad unless you cook it and try to eat it. Okay. And so if you know your pasta is very old, cook it plain and try it before adding any extra sauce or ingredients. We don't want to waste anything. So you can try to cook it and see how it cooks up. If it's just not cooking well, then okay, you can throw your pasta out. But some people will be like, nope, I'm eating this because there's nothing wrong with it. And we're just going to throw lots of tomato sauce on it. Obviously, if your pasta has, bugs in it and that kind of thing, you make sure you look through it. You're going to want to toss that out, so we don't want bugs in our food. So toss that out. Oki Khan says, smothered in garlic, anything tastes good. Yes. What is prepping my face says that little sign behind you, extremely applicable in this conversation, right? Common sense, not all that common. I've had this up for a while. Oh gosh. Yeah. Smother that stuff in garlic. So how can you tell if your dry pasta is bad? And obviously bugs, or, if it kind of smells bad, or if you cook it up and it just doesn't really taste good, it tastes kind of like whatever. So, some of us have a more tolerance for stale pasta than others, and that's okay. That's to each their own, right? So one thing that suggested was try smelling your pasta, and if there's a musty odor, that's a bad sign. Okay. So beyond this, you'll have to cook your pasta to test it out. Stale pasta is safe to eat. Okay. Again, just because it's stale or it is past its best buy date doesn't mean that it is bad or unsafe. I should say unsafe. So pasta that has been kept dry will not mold. And if if there's white spots on it, that is most likely simply to color loss. So if pasta was exposed to irregular light, again, keeping it in a dark place, put it in a container, put it in a tote box or something. Okay. It might start to lose its color, but that doesn't make it unsafe to eat. Okay. So again, it all boils down. It all boils down to how you store it. Okay. So if you're keeping it dry, even if in its original packaging, even if you don't have a vacuum sealer, that's okay. Keeping it in its original packaging and just making sure that you're keeping it dry. Okay. I have a whole bunch of egg noodles that are in a big tote that locks down. I just left them in their original package. I wasn't going to bother trying to vacuum seal them or anything. They're just in there. They talk about black spots. If there are black spots on your dry pasta, there is a good chance that they were there when you first purchased the pasta, and they're not a sign that the noodles are too old. Okay. But most people throw out those little pieces that have black spots on them. So you might want to just go ahead and do that anyway. And I briefly mentioned shelf life. So shelf life of pasta, has 1 to 2 years. Okay. Dry boxed pasta will typically have a shelf life of 1 to 2 years marked on the packaging. But then we all know that you can go beyond that date, probably another 1 to 2 years in its original packaging. But if you want to get extra life out of your pasta, vacuum sealing or doing something where you're keeping the air out of it is going to make it last longer. The Biggs Prep says vacuum sealing egg noodles. I have tried it. The sharp edges poke through eventually. That's why I usually don't. I just leave them in their original packaging because it's okay. It's actually safe. Arkansas whoop-ass. I have a degree in food science. Anytime you vacuum seal food, there is a small chance you can create the conditions for botulism poisoning. The military has had deaths from vacuum sealed MREs. Again, we have to take care of how it's been packaged. We have to examine everything. So, again, this is just my research, what I've been learning. So yes, there's always a small chance. Apartment Prepper says she's never seen black spots on pasta. I think I actually saw one thing recently where I think it was elbow macaroni, and there was a little black spot, and I just tossed it out. Some people don't care. As much pasta as we eat, my pasta I have stored will be lucky to make it 2 years. Right. I'm like, I probably won't even make it that long. But what you want to be careful of is the packages that are in boxes. And there's a lot of pasta that comes in boxes, and inside the box, it's just the pasta noodles, and it's not like in a bag or anything. And so that's what you want to really be careful of, because your boxes will absorb moisture. So even if there's a little bit, so like I store a lot downstairs, I have a basement pantry and it is temperature controlled. However, it's a basement. And so sometimes I have noticed that my boxes, that if this, could be maybe 6 months that have been down there, if I keep something in a box, I notice that box tends to get a little weak feeling. And that's why I like to get all of my things out of the boxes and into totes. I don't like to store stuff in there because they will absorb any moisture that's around. It's funny, but I hate I've had so much with cardboard. I'm sick of it. So want to be careful with that if you're keeping your pasta in the box, it would be good to try to get your pasta maybe into some kind of a container, even a Ziploc freezer bag that's heavy duty, and you might be able to lay the noodles down, not this way, but this way in there, and you can stack them in there that way. You're at least getting them out of the box. Hey, McBean. It's great to see you in here. Thanks for stopping by. Anybody else coming in here? Hoping, thanks, Apartment Prepper and Prepping by Faith for greeting everybody and making everybody feel welcome. That's so helpful because I'm just rambling away. Let's see. Oh, how long can you keep dry pasta? I think that's where I left off. All store-bought dry pasta bags or boxes will have a best by date stamped on them. And this is not an expiration date, which is what we're talking about, in the sense that the pasta will be unsafe to eat. So it's just a suggested date. Most of the best by dates are on there basically for grocers to, move their stock, rotate it or get it out, whatever they need to do. That's for them. Okay. There is actually not a requirement from the FDA that there has to be an expiration date on there, except for baby formula. Baby formula is one that has to have those on there, but the requirements the FDA has for the labeling of foods is, it's supposed to have certain things like ingredients and certain manufacturing codes, and all these things that's required. But the best by date is actually not supposed to be on there, or not. I should say not supposed to be on there, but just it's not an actual required thing to have. It's almost like it's a common courtesy. So. Pasta is very calorie rich, so proper storage of pasta is a great topic. Thank you. Yes, it is very calorie rich. Yes, it's dry to begin with. So your pasta is dry. You want to make sure you keep it dry. And, there's some of the store-bought pasta. Well, all of the store-bought pasta probably has some preservatives in it, but I don't think I'm not sure. I think it's just mainly like durum wheat and things like that's in the pasta. I'm not sure how many preservatives are in there, but if you're getting something like a hamburger helper where the box has the noodles in one bag and the powder sauce in the other, that stuff I swear is built to last a nuclear explosion because that stuff is it's like plastic. Like the noodles are plastic and stuff. Anyway, that's just my opinion. I'm not saying that's the truth at all. I just feel like I'm eating plastic sometimes. Can you eat expired dry pasta? I think we were just talking about that. Beyond the best by date, you can keep dry pasta for 1 to 2 years if it's stored properly. And as long as you don't see any bugs inside or smell any stale odors, your pasta should be safe to cook and eat as normal. It may be a little less enjoyable, but as they say, like we were saying in here, throw some garlic on it and heavy tomato sauce and all kinds of seasonings, and you'll be good. Apartment Prepper says there's stuff at my salvage grocery store with dates from last year. Oh gosh. Yeah, I want to be careful about that. But if it's pasta, you could get that and put it in the front, use it right away and save your other stuff that you've vacuum sealed. Whoops. Oh, eat the bugs. It's just extra protein. That's what they say, right? Oh my goodness. Okay, so we've talked about storing dry pasta, airtight containers. They say preferably glass, but if you're going to use plastic, make sure it's food grade or it's BPA free. This one says that it is food safe, BPA free. Imagine I just said that, right? Hand wash only, that kind of thing. So if you want to get that, or glass, so you can maybe break your noodles down and put them in a glass jar. You can also do that. Let's see. Make sure it's a tight seal. I want to make sure I said that. Make sure that you keep your pasta, but any of your food preps in a temperature controlled environment. Constant temperature fluctuations can cause condensation. That's bad, right? We don't want that. Moisture of any kind should be avoided like the plague around any dry food you may have, including your dry pasta. Keeping it also out of direct sunlight will help protect the color and texture of your pasta longer. All right. Now, here was a question that somebody asked, and let me see where that was. Oh, here we go. They were asking about storing it in the refrigerator. I think I'm still on the same comment. If storing it in the refrigerator was necessary. And this was interesting because it says storing your dry pasta in the refrigerator is not ideal. It says, aside from taking up cold space that could probably be put to better use, the air in your fridge will compromise the quality of your dry pasta more quickly than the air in your pantry. Now, I thought this was very interesting. There are also a lot more airborne flavors and odors in your fridge that can taint your pasta in an unappetizing way. Most items in your pantry or cupboard are also dry goods, so they won't share the flavor or odors with each other. And I thought that was very interesting. Yeah, see, I've never heard of storing it in the fridge either, but someone asked about it. So I was wondering if, maybe they thought that storing the open pasta, so when I opened up the vacuum sealed bag and I had 2 extra bags left over, if putting it in the fridge was a way to do it. And I was thinking at the time, I don't think I need to. So I went on this search basically for myself, of this research, so that I could prove to myself that I was thinking right, or had some sanity left. Okay, so here's some pasta expiration dates. If you have dry pasta, you can keep it in your cupboard up to 2 years. You do not need to put it in the fridge or freezer. Okay, if you want to get longer shelf life of your pasta, of course, we know it could probably go even beyond that. It just might be a little stale. But again, vacuum sealing or doing something of getting it in a sealed container will make it last another 1 to 2 years. So you're going to get a longer shelf life. If you have fresh pasta, like if you're homemade pasta, you definitely don't want to store that in the cupboard. You can put it in the refrigerator for 4 to 5 days, or you can put it in the freezer for 6 months. I don't make my own pasta, but I just thought I would throw that out there. And then if you have cooked pasta, you can keep it in the fridge for up to a week, and you can put it in the freezer for up to 6 months. Okay, I just thought I would throw that out there. Who's talking about roach milk? What? Where did that come from? Ew. Okay. Let's see. Oh, okay. So then I heard somebody talking about, when we were talking about egg noodles. So let's just address that for a second. Can egg noodles go bad? Even though egg noodles have egg in them, as long as they're kept dry, they're unlikely to grow mold or bacteria. So again, moisture is the enemy. So we want to keep moisture, humidity, and that kind of thing away from everything. milking Z roaches. What are you guys talking about? I don't want to hear about no roach milk. Gross. Okay, Arkansas says pasta will last a long time. They probably found good pasta in King Tut's tomb. Hey, you know what? They probably did. Okay, gluten-free pasta. Thank you for sharing this. The Big's Prep. I thought you might chime in on this because I know you're big with gluten-free things, and I do have some gluten-free pasta. So I was kind of wondering what I would do with this. It's made with brown rice, so the storage isn't that great on it. We try to use within the 6-month mark. Also, if you could chime in on this, the Big's Prep, do you vacuum seal that at all? Can you do it the same way? Because I did have someone ask me about whole wheat pasta. That's another question I want to address is I don't think that whole wheat pasta is different because it's dry. And it's still pasta. And so you can store it long term, you can vacuum seal it. But I was wondering if maybe you couldn't store it as long because it was whole wheat. I don't know. That was the one thing I could not find that was specific on pasta. It didn't say anything about whole wheat, and I wanted to be sure that whole wheat pasta was the same as pasta. The Big Prep says we do not vacuum seal our gluten-free pasta. Is as if SHTF comes, we will just be out when we run out. Okay. Oops. Oh, well, there you go. There's a free shout out for our apartment prepper right there. I was trying to go up for OkiCon for, I usually don't pay attention to Best Buy dates except for dairy products. Yeah, same here. I'm pretty much the same way. All right. All right, so we've got egg noodles, and what you may notice with egg noodles and all other dry pasta is that egg noodles often have a lovely yellow color from the yolk of the egg, but over time the color may fade to a light beige or a washed out yellow. Okay, so that's what you may find with that. It shouldn't affect the flavor, but as with all pasta, egg noodles will get stale eventually as well. Okay, but again, the whole theme is, no moisture. Keep that moisture away from that. Since they naturally have more flavor than basic flour pasta, old egg noodles may have more noticeable flavor changes over time, especially if you're used to fresh egg noodles. Okay. This says that you can freeze egg noodles to extend their shelf life. And that was interesting. You don't have to freeze your regular pasta, but with egg noodles, I guess they're saying that you can freeze them to extend their shelf life. I've never put egg noodles in the freezer. I just, again, left them in their original packaging, put them in a tote and sealed it and put them in the bottom of my pantry, actually, so it stays dark in there. And so let's see, Apartment Prepper says, my understanding is wheat pasta doesn't keep as long, just like the whole wheat flour doesn't. That's what I was thinking too, that you wouldn't be able to keep it as long as your regular pasta. All right. Uncle Al, welcome. Good to see you. And then the last one is this question was, can ramen noodles go bad? And I'm like, I don't think they'll ever go bad. Like I said, I think they're not very good for you to begin with, but you'll have full bellies if you have them. And it says that as long as these come individually packaged in airtight sealed plastic bags, and they also often have preservatives. As I was saying, ramen probably has the most preservatives out there. And so as long as the package isn't opened, your ramen noodles aren't going to go bad. But even then, they might get stale as they go through time. All right, so that was it with some of the pasta storage. And let's see, we checked on. Oh, so one of the other things I wanted to mention was that if we're checking our food, so we should be when we're packing our food, and we're talking about pasta here, or anything that's, canned from the store or home canned, that kind of thing, home packed. We need to be checking our food preps in our pantry a lot. And you should be either setting a reminder, writing something on your calendar. And I'm speaking to myself here too, because we need to be checking regularly to make it a habit. Once a month, I'm going to check the big pantry. Once a week, I'm going to check my upstairs pantry or something. Or if you've got something that's just kind of stored way out of the way, like I have tons of toilet paper. But I've got a secret stash, because if I run out, this happened. Oh my gosh, you guys. So my son comes up and he's like, what? We're out of toilet paper? And I'm like, no, we're not. And but apparently the big Costco package that I had taken a package out, and I was putting it around the bathrooms, and having extra stashes in the cabinets and stuff. Well, apparently that was the last package, but I have a big tote that I've taken one of those big Costco packages, and I put all of those toilet paper packages in the big tote, and that's my spare. When I open that, I better go stock up again. So you know what your sassy gal did? I went to Costco and was like, boom, boom, boom with the toilet paper. Oh my gosh. So yeah, the Big's Prep, I love her pantry tours. Every 8 weeks or so, I go through and check my seals on my home canned foods and inventory too. We have to. I don't have a lot of canned goods, especially the home canned things. I hope to be doing that this year, to adding more to the pantry downstairs. But yeah, we should be going through and we should be checking our cans. Check. I remember I watch the Alaska Granny channel. Hi, it's Alaska Granny. And she was talking about, she's got, Alaska, but she comes down into the States and she visits, grandkids and things like that. So when she's down in the lower 48, she has a place that she stays and she has a stash there. She's got, a prepper pantry there. And she had an issue with canned pineapple. And so the cans had kind of leaked through and it created this big mess and stuff. So yes, checking your pantries regularly for how your cans are doing, how your vacuum sealed products are doing, your Mylar bag things, your totes, just checking all around for any clues that you might have little critters in there, if you're seeing remnants of mouse poop or something. Don't want that to happen. Yes, she is so cute. Hi, it's Alaska Granny. I love her. Oh my gosh. Anyway, y'all should check her out if you don't. I love watching her little videos. Okay. And she has little granny camp. I just love it. All right. Oh, and then, I mentioned meal planning, to use the extra pasta. So when I open up the vacuum seal bag and I've got, the leftovers, just a little bit of meal planning will go a long way. If I know I'm going to open that up, okay, I've got 3 packages, 3 pounds of pasta. My family will pretty much just go through 1 pound. I can make those other 2 meals within that month, with the leftovers. So, all right, moving on to another comment. This one comes from Mary Beth G. She says, well, I think I have a small hole in the bag. So then what? Then I think, well, then I'll take it and reseal it or put them in a glass jar. And yes, you can reseal it if you want. You can reseal the other 2 in another vacuum seal bag. For me, I didn't want to use another vacuum seal bag, which is why I bought this. So when I take them out, or whatever I moved upstairs, I'm putting in this, and rather than using another vacuum seal bag. I guess I'm cheap. I don't know. But you could store in a glass jar. But again, that little hole that I poked in the spaghetti bag is not going to hurt my pasta. All right. Another comment comes from Live to Laugh. And I think I understand the comment right, but it says, do you have to cut a hole in the pasta bags to let the air out? And that was just what I did so I could get all of the air out of everything when I vacuum sealed it. I have vacuum sealed some things where I left the air in them. I think hot chocolate was one, and I forget, there was something else that I was vacuum sealing, and I left the air in the original package. So when I vacuum sealed it, I just did not feel like I got a really good seal on the bag. And that's when I poked the little hole in the spaghetti bag, and it sucked all of the air out of the pasta bags along with the vacuum seal bags. So that's why I feel like I got a super good seal on it. So that's what I did. If I understood the question was like, do you have to do it? And no, you don't. You can vacuum seal it just like it is. So and so that was it that I had for questions on pasta storage. I went through and I had a lot of these questions I just wanted to address. And I think I got all of this as subscriber comments or just commenters. Apartment Prepper says, meal planning is not my strength. Lord have mercy. And I hear you, because you're just like, well, you know, the only thing I really need that I know to do with spaghetti is make spaghetti, you know, so what am I going to do, you know, with the other ones? But, you know, I can have spaghetti once a month, or maybe there might be something else you can do with spaghetti. Some other things, I think I'll just try to touch up on some other topics when I get it. And we've got Uncle Al says, replace the air with nitrogen gas. Are you talking about, am I walking out in the middle of a conversation, or is this about the vacuum sealing? Big Prep says, I love meal planning. It's totally my jam, like a crossword or Sudoku. Oh, I love Sudoku. Yeah, I like to do meal planning. I don't do it enough. I need to make it a regular habit, like just every Sunday or something, you know, rotate and like our favorite meals, and just start rotating and making a schedule and just kind of going through some of our favorite meals. Now here's one: fried spaghetti. That sounds good. And where's the other one? Roxanne had one: spaghetti carbonara. I don't even know what that is. That sounds good. Okay, Uncle Al said vacuum seal. Okay, gotcha. Yeah. Replace that. Good. Yeah, see, we're all trying to do a little bit more, trying to go out of our comfort zones, trying to do a little more meal planning. Homemade rice-a-roni. Okay. Let's see. We've got here, make your bag. Who is this? Oh, Rita. Okay, sorry. Make your bag a little longer than needed when open to take out a package, and then you have enough room to reseal. Right. And so for me, I'm glad you said that, because I'm a little nervous about using the same bag to reseal, but I just like you know, I have enough room to reseal it. And so it should be okay to do that, as long as there isn't anything wrong with the bag or nothing wrong with the contents on the inside. You should be able to reseal it again. So that's good that you said that, because I get nervous about that. I'm more nervous about that than I am about the pasta being a year old. Oh, here we go. Spaghetti with Alfredo and chicken. Easy and yummy. Ooh. Yeah. It is. It is fine. For me, that's just something I have to get over, right? I have to like stretch over that and say, okay, this is fine. Because I'm not going to want to, you know, be spending more money on vacuum seal bags. I'm going to want to reuse them. Like I'll reuse my Ziploc bags. I'll wash them out and stuff. If there's nothing wrong with the Ziploc bag, I'll use those again. So I don't know what my deal is. I'm afraid I'm going to mess something up, which is why I shy away from canning. I shy away from canning. That's another video, y'all. Okay, so right, Apartment Prepper, me too. I reuse any bag as long as it didn't have raw meat in it. Yes, I'm with you on that. I'll reuse anything as long as I can, and as long as it's okay, you know. Biggs Prep says, I reuse my vac bags, especially when they have not had meat in them. Yeah, I'm down with that. And as long as you use it on dried goods, you should be fine. Right. Yeah, it's just, all right. I'm good now. Y'all convinced me. Y'all convinced me. All right. So moving on from the pasta front, I wanted to move into prepper scenarios. Okay. And I had all of these scenarios. I've got a whole, like a little list going of these little scenarios I want to do on Sunday nights, and we can talk through them and stuff. But y'all, while I was doing that, sorry, I had to set my drink down. I came across these two headlines, and let me see here. Let me see if I can get this up on the stream. Ta-da! Yes. The Fort Worth Star-Telegram, we're talking about the railroad union members. They vote to authorize a July 18th nationwide strike. Y'all, that's tomorrow. That's tomorrow. And I know they've been talking about this for, I don't know, a while. It's been going on. Their previous contract, if you can see that, I hope you can see me doing this. Can you see that? Yes, you can. Okay. They expired in 2019. And then this vote comes days before a federally mandated cooling off period between the unions and rail carriers is set to expire. And the cooling off period that prevents unions from striking or railroads from locking out their workers expires July 18th. So we have no idea what is going on tomorrow. And you guys, so here's that was my little prepper scenario was, okay, what are we going to do if the locomotive strike actually happens? That means nothing is going to be moving. So we're already having problems with truckers. Oh, and that was the other one I wanted to show you. Hold on. Here we go. Sorry, I didn't have it up on the front. Truckers this is the one that's going on California right now, AB 5. Truckers make their voices heard, and 70,000 truck owner operators, okay, they were having a big protest at the ports of Los Angeles and Long Beach. And so here's something else. This has been going on since last week, Wednesday, July 13th. And so if this stuff is going to be happening, so here's our prepper scenario, y'all. What if we, sorry, I took me off. What if we get the notice that there isn't going to be any stuff? I mean, let alone, we already have shortages of things, flour, rice, pastas, all these things. What if we get the notice that everything has stopped? What are y'all going to do? What are we going to do? Yeah. Seems like everything's going wacko and everyone needs a Prozac. No offense. But yeah, I mean, yeah, I hear you. Stockpile oils and parts. I'm with you on the parts, man. I was just talking to my husband about that, about our generator on our RV. I think we need a part for it, but I'm not sure we actually have to go. We've been putting off going to have someone look at it because I'm just afraid of the price, but now it's an urgency now. Yeah, for trucks and cars. Yes, apartment prepper. This is what I was saying. Fill in your gaps as soon as possible. So you know what? I mean, this is a very real thing. I'm feeling with these two going on together, we've already had trucker strikes, and we've had now we're looking at a locomotive strike. I'm telling you, we need to so fill in your gaps if you have the ability. It's too late for me this evening. It's getting late for me anyway, but tomorrow morning I'm going to get up and I'm going to go take my butt to my wonderful Sharp Shopper store, and I'm going to go get some stuff. I'm going to go get all of these basic staples. I'm going to start stocking up on canned goods and everything. I'm just going to go make a big haul tomorrow because I want to make sure it's kind of like, if we knew that SHTF, can't get those out. If SHTF was going to happen tomorrow, or an economic collapse, or just, whatever was going to be happening tomorrow, what would you do? Well, here we got something that's facing us that's going to be pretty bad if it actually happens. Oh, what are you talking about here? Hold on. A bear? Did I see that? A bear in your basement? Wait, who has this? I need to go back. Oh. apartment prepper, you had bears in your basement. Oh my gosh. Prepping by faith, prioritize water. Yes, so many drought issues, and we can only live 3 miserable days without water. Yes, prioritize that water. Get water catchment systems if you don't have it, or if you have your stuff. Here's your thing, guys and gals. If you're sitting on stuff, and I'm preaching to myself here too, if you're sitting on stuff that needs to get out and get done, like water catchment systems, or if you've got things that need to get out of their box, or if you got things that need to be vacuum sealed, Mylar bagged, stuff that needs to go into buckets and that kind of thing, get it done. Don't be sitting on it anymore. This is not the time. Okay. We cannot be sitting on it. Yeah, stockpile water or drink brown tap water. We don't want to be doing that. You can, I know that, I don't think Nene is in the house. Nene's prepping kitchen, but she's been showing a lot of videos. She lives up in the northern Michigan area, and she was showing a lot of, lots of empty shelves in her Walmart. The bread is gone. The sugar was like maybe 1 pallet. There were some things like rice, and actually the pasta shelves were very bare. So that's in northern Michigan. I don't know how that affects like where you guys are at and where I'm at. I'm way over on the East Coast in Northern Virginia. And so things kind of tend to come out here last. So what I see what you guys have, like your price hikes or gas hikes and stuff, I see it happen that way. And then it starts to filter down here this way. So I see Linda. Is Linda Prepper Kitchen in the house? Hey, Linda. Oh, and then yes, the rails, they haul coal for a lot of power plants, so there could be some power outages. Though I did see there was a train that was coming in. It had a ton of coal on it, so I don't know where it's going. So hopefully it's going to some power plant or something. Let's see. Roxanne says, I've been saving my meds. Yeah. You know what? You might want to go tomorrow and contact your doctor or your pharmacy and see if you can get an extension, like maybe a 60-day supply, or get your, something ahead of time so you can get a head start on the next refill, if that's even possible. But I know a lot of doctors' offices are starting to do that. There's a medication that I take that I was actually approved. So I actually got automatic refills, and so then I actually got a 60-day supply on it. So it doesn't hurt to ask, you guys. Get on the stick, as we said. Whoops, that was way back. Sorry. Hi, Rhonda. Did I miss all of my chat? There we go. Yeah, get your prescriptions filled. If you have some, again, don't sit on anything. If you have something that you're sitting on that needs to be done, get it done. And I have a water, we've got those little barrels that you can stick under the downspout. We need to be doing that. We need to be getting on it. Oh, I have some good news, you guys. If you haven't seen, I put up a little short video. I have green beans. I'm excited. It's not a lot. Some of you guys have big gardens, and I have just this little tiny thing in the corner of my house outside the back door. And I have green beans, and I'm excited. And I have cucumbers coming because they're flowering. So I'm going to probably get some cucumbers. So anyway, thank you for saying this. Biggs Prep, make sure you get your blood work done too. Super important. Y'all be checking your blood pressure. Okay. There are a lot of things out there right now. There's a lot of people that are being diagnosed with hypertension these days. My husband, if you haven't been a follower of my channel very long, but the beginning of January, right after Christmas, my husband had a mini stroke, and it was a huge wake-up call because it was hypertension was the cause of it. And we praise God that it was just a mini stroke, and he's recovering well. And However, when we were talking with the neurologists and the doctors and stuff over the next couple of months, we're realizing that there is like increase in this. And we don't know why. I was finding out all of these people that have hypertension, people that we know that once they know that you're going through something and they disclose that they've, yeah, I've been diagnosed with hypertension as well. And so it's a lot, and it's a silent killer. So you guys, if you know what your blood pressure is, okay, check it. If you can get a blood pressure monitor from like someplace like Walmart or CVS, you can order them on Amazon. Find out from your doctor what's causing it. So stay on it. Yeah, get your blood work done. Oh, Uncle Al had a big thing with getting wrong paperwork for wrong blood work. I hope you got the right blood work back. And he did. He said he's not pregnant. Oh gosh. Okay. So Arkansas says, I worked 30 years in the food supply chains and still talk to people working at the corporate level. All of the execs are already stocked up and ready to bug out. It's going to collapse. I am down with that. I am so with you on that. Oh, Linda, don't depend on the rain barrels. That's right. Don't depend on them. They're just there for extra, just for something extra, to have water out there so we can, water something outside, water the garden and that kind of stuff. But you're right. Don't depend on it, because you're right. We can't depend on something that might not happen. Right. And we were talking about that this morning, at church. Like, what are you, I should do a video on this as well, but just a thought, since Linda had said something about this, about not depending on the rain barrels. The theme, or the thought that I really that has been preoccupying my mind is what are you counting on? Like, for example, Linda says, don't count on those rain barrels for your main source of water, because the rain may not come, right? What are you placing? Are you counting on your government? I know most of the people in this chat, we're not, because we know that ain't nobody coming to save us, right? But what are you counting on? Are you counting on, where's your faith? Are you counting on your money? Are you counting on your, I don't know, your degrees that you have, as far as your, are you counting on your skills? Are you counting on, I don't know. There was a whole bunch of things I had written down. But you know what? All of those things can be either taken away or lost because of something. For example, your money. We could lose our money for some reason. You could lose your job. You could, your degrees don't really mean anything, just for clout, right? Even your skills, because we're talking about like, well, I can always fall back on my skills. But what if something happens in the instance of like my husband, for example, and you don't have the ability to use those skills anymore? Any one of those things can be taken away, or they could be, or you could lose them to something. And so the underlying theme was that we do these things, we prep, or we build these skills, we build up insurances like in our bank account, or we have a savings account, that kind of thing. But that's not where 100% of our faith goes. We do that, but our faith is in the Lord to sustain these things. So I'm prepping. I'm doing the best I can. I'm always asking, do I have enough? Have I done enough? Will this be enough? Have I grown enough food? Have I canned enough? This, that, or the other thing. Do we have enough money in the bank? You know what? We do the best that we can. And then we look to God to sustain us for the rest. We look God to bless our efforts. We looked for him to sustain us, to carry us through. All right. What I have down in my house and in my basement, and the things that I've done the best that I can. I know that if I've done that, then I'm going to rely on God for the rest. Not that I don't want to prep. Please don't think that, like, oh, I'm just, God's going to take care of me. No, I'm doing the stuff, but I'm not relying on it for my sole, what I want to say, it's not my sole reliance or my sole trust. I'm not trusting in the government. I'm not trusting in my money. I'm not trusting in all of those things. I'm fully trusting in God, but I'm building up these areas. I don't know. Does that make sense to y'all? Prepping by faith, we need to count on our Heavenly Father first and foremost. He knows the end from the beginning. We do. That's how, I think it's how we keep our sanity through all of this, because I'm going crazy. I know other people must be as well, because we're trying to wonder, have I done enough? Have I done enough? I think if you've done the best that you absolutely can for your situation, your family, then, we can count on our Heavenly Father to sustain us for the rest. Don't want to sound like I'm preaching at everybody. Arkansas, hey, come back here, comment. Here we go. Arkansas says, for water, I have found a gravity filtration system like the Berkey. Yes, I can drink slimy pond water through my, is it ProPure? I haven't actually seen that brand, so I'm not sure if I'm saying it right, but I'm assuming it's kind of like it's some filtration system, right? It makes perfect sense to me. I hope so. Yeah, he says to prepare. So yes, it makes sense. Yes, Uncle Al, I remember waterborne diseases. Mm-hmm. A guy that works with my husband finally realized he needs to prep, so he bought 1 case of Spam, and he's good. We have been doing it wrong. If that's all it takes, well, then I'm golden. Oh gosh, you can preach, we can handle it. Whoop. Oh my gosh. What do we got here? Arkansas says, read Ecclesiastes 9:11. You are right about preps, money, etc., being able to save you. Fate and chance happens to everyone. Yeah. God always saves his people. We were in Chronicles, and I want to say it was First Chronicles. It was either 12. Oh, I'm going to get my numbers wrong. It was either 12:21 or it was 20. No, I believe it was First Chronicles 21 and it was verse 12. But anyway, it was that was the whole premise of what we were talking about. It was just another reminder of, like, I think the gist of the story in the Bible was that David was counting his army and counting his men, which makes sense to me. You would want to know how many men you have in your army, because you want to know how strong you are. And I think at the time that in the Chronicles, he was getting ready to hand over the army to, or the kingdom, to his son. And so he was wanting to chronicle them. He was wanting to number them. And God was telling him through a prophet, no, because he was trusting in his numbers versus trusting in the Lord, for carrying him and providing for him. And it just sat with me thinking, this is how I can know that I've done my part, and that God's going to take care of the rest. And I'm not trying to say to be one of those people that just sits back and doesn't do anything. We're coming up on the 1 hour mark. Oh, we're past. Yes, we're coming up on the 1 hour mark. We're doing good. And what was this one? What do we got here? A lot of coal is going to China. Okay. A lot of our resources are going to China. Weird. Yeah. A lot of our money is going to China and Euchert. Actually, I should probably get dinged for saying that. Large Asian nation and the Euchre. Oh my gosh. Don't get me started on our fuel going to China, Linda says. I can rant all night long on this. Oh, yes, ma'am. So can I. Mm-hmm. Why is all of our stuff going out of our country? Why are we not keeping all of our billions of dollars here? But that's not tonight's chat. Oh, this is right. So I'm glad you said that, Biggs Prep. If everyone could say a prayer for the Biggs Prep son, Nathan and D company. They deploy tomorrow to Europe. Oh, and that reminds me, because I was on your chat earlier, the Biggs Prep we had earlier, that was yesterday. Wear red Fridays. So people are starting to be deployed, and wearing red on Fridays is to help remember those that have been deployed, remember and honor them. So I thought that was kind of cool. So y'all want to wear red on Fridays? Let's see. Oh, let's see. Let me go. Oh yeah, I'm probably okay to be mentioning it once. You mean if I say it over and over again? They might be like, she's saying that too much. We gotta ding her little bitty channel. All right, I think I've been scrolling up a little bit here. I hope I didn't miss something important, or if anybody had a question before we go. Y'all remember, your pasta is not going to be going bad, okay? Your pasta is going to be fine as long as you keep it dry. Okay? And I did not know that my video would get so many little comments on about poking a little hole in it. But anyway, yeah, so y'all be thinking of the Biggs prep and her son being deployed. Also, this coming Wednesday, Prepping by Faith and myself are going to be guests on Van City's channel about prepping for families. And then Friday is also going to be, Prepping by Faith is going to be hosting a chat. And myself and Apartment Prepper and, oh my gosh, the father's son prepper. Did I get that right? Oh my gosh. Y'all go to Prepping by Faith's channel too, because she'll have the little, the notification up there. So turn your notifications on. Come join us for some chats this week. And yay, we're so excited. But Cynthia, we're going to be praying for your son. Y'all be praying for each other. And like I always tell you, take care, be aware, and in prayer. And have a great week. And I will be seeing you in the videos on the YouTube. Okay? All right. Love you all and have a great week. Bye.